Hello, everybody. It is, I guess now it's midnight. It's Tuesday morning, following Monday Night Raw. We got things we like, things we didn't like. So uh, let's get right to it as we are barreling down into SummerSlam. Before you know it, it's here. 2 nights. So here we go. Things I like, things I didn't like. This cameraman right here, this is my cameraman. Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker, if nothing else, if you see nothing else from tonight's show, Bron Breakker. He cut a remake of Roman's, in my opinion, Roman Reigns' most iconic promo. It's like, this cameraman right here, this is my cameraman. These people right here, these are my people because they all acknowledge me. All that was missing was Bron Breakker going to Michael Cole and Corey Graves. It's like, these two right here, they work for me. Because all they do is acknowledge me. They talk about me. Bron Breakker in that moment did have a hint of, oh, that's who his dad is. Where he nobody says fat ass like the Steiners. Hey, man. Hey, get Samoa Joe back in WWE, man. I have an idea of the pitch. this, this fat son of a bitch. Dude. Even Kurt Angle looked at Scott Steiner's like, dude, calm down. Oh, man. Calm down. You got a hint of that. There's a certain cadence that a Steiner has. Bron Breakker seems more polished and professional than his dad, but yeah, you hear the Steiner in him. All kidding aside, Bron Breakker had a great night. I gotta mention, Bron Breakker as the leader of this group looks very scary. A little bit more aura is what people would call it these days than when Seth Rollins was leading the group. You do need the depth of Seth Rollins. We'll see if Kyle's theory is correct. If Seth is not really, really hurt, maybe he'll impact the story somewhere. But anywho, my first like Bron Breakker, having some fun with that, but he had a standout night. And a good combination of the wrestling being good, and then he's gaining more confidence with his promos. I talked on this Reacts last week. It's like sometimes I don't feel the confidence with Bron Breakker. Week by week, he's getting better. Nothing, I mean, it was scripted, but it was like, it was quick. He studied. It was great. All right, so that's my top like. A couple other likes from the show. Hey, when somebody's struggling, the old rule, if somebody's on a losing streak, it's a good thing when television acknowledges your losing streak because that means they're about to do something with you. And Bayley had an outstanding interview with Jackie Redmond where she basically said nothing. Finally acknowledging, like, I had a championship opportunity, Intercontinental Championship opportunity, didn't win that. Tag Team Championship opportunity, didn't win that. Not on the WrestleMania card, not on the SummerSlam card. Like, actually selling disappointment, because stuff like that matters, right? Like, if your favorite football team doesn't make the playoffs, like, that should be painful. That should hurt if you don't make the playoffs. If you try to be Patrick Mahomes and you just can't do it. Like, those things should hurt. So I do like when wrestlers do acknowledge that, hey, I have been coming up short. I think something big's in the works for Bayley. I think she'll be involved in Becky and the Lyra match in some capacity. Heel. Judgment Day had a great night. Across the board, Judgment Day had a great night. Their match with LWO was fantastic. Hated the finish Because now we're just going to have 30,000 El Grande Americanos out there. And it's like, okay, the Chad Gable one is cool. Even having a second one is fine, but now we're jumping the shark if there's more than two El Grande American. Like, we're jumping the shark here. Like, let's keep it at two. Hopefully the run-in, hopefully that was actually Chad Gable and not a third or a fourth. That's just going to, so hope that's not the case. I got a lot more things that I didn't like from this show than what I like. Oh, I do want to mention one thing. Give me 10 seconds. Raquel Rodriguez is doing an outstanding job in the ring. Outstanding job in the ring. She got great advice from Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash said she needs to wrestle big. Like, she was wrestling down to the level of her competition as far as size. And Kevin Nash said, you're a big guy or big girl. You need to wrestle, like, you need to fight in the style of your size. And you have noticed remarkable improvement with Raquel Rodriguez in the ring in the last month, in the last few weeks since she's gotten that advice. Even the way she delivers a simple big man move like the big boot. Small guys can't do that. Small guys and girls can't. Alexa Bliss is not going to hit the big boot on Roxanne Perez. But the slow rise, the slow kick, but it's impactful, packs a punch. That's what Kevin Nash did in his prime. So, Raquel Rodriguez in the ring, is a remarkable turnaround since receiving great advice. All right, things I didn't like. A lot of top-heavy stuff. Paul, at the opening segment, post Hogan tribute, very odd, all around. Number one, they tried to sell the fact that Jey Uso was going to go through the crowd, even though we just saw Jey Uso, on the stage with the rest of the talent, doing a 10-bell salute with Hogan. And Jey Uso doesn't come from the stands at every show. There have been shows in the past where Jey Uso has come from Gorilla. And here it would have been understandable, like, hey, everybody would have got it. Like, you just did the tribute. Jey was already up at the stage, and you do your thing. They try to sell the fact that he was going to come from the stands, but of course he didn't because they just had the tribute, and then he came from it was a clunky setup. It was a weird clunky setup. I didn't like that at all. Then Paul Heyman came out. Paul Heyman said a lot of nothing. Talked about family, things like that, but again, said a lot of. He mentioned Rikishi by name dropped him, Jey Uso's dad. But again, not much substance. And these complaints, by the way, is going to go into my larger point at the end of this video, because my final point, it'll all make sense. But Paul Heyman said a lot of nothing. Jey Uso's response wasn't that great. I know, it was about family, but it was just, it didn't really lead anywhere. So, I didn't like that at all. Gunther CM Punk. CM Punk doesn't want the World Championship. He needs the World Championship. Okay, and the Cavaliers need to win the NBA Finals next year. Oh, who gives a what? Like, I said on the SmackDown Reacts this past Friday that the two world title feuds have been the most disappointing going into SummerSlam. And I don't feel any better about CM Punk Gunther now than I did coming into Monday. Maybe the match is good, but either it's time to get, like, is CM Punk going to win this title or not? That's really what it comes down, for me. But yeah, boo, yay, CM Punk needs the world title, and water, and everybody needs water. Everybody needs to drink water, so whatever. Lyra, who Lyra Vicaria, who has had an unbelievable spring and summer, had her first big miss here. Again, we evaluate episode by episode, so if you mess up in one episode, if it's big enough, significant enough, we do have to acknowledge that two major fails from her. Number one, she was stuttering through her words in terms of you could tell immediately she kind of forgot her she was thrown off by the fact she said 2 weeks from today at SummerSlam, and then she realized, oh crap, SummerSlam's this week. So that threw her off. She never really got back into her groove with the promo. She tried to do the thing with the kicks, with the shoes. The Detroit crowd wasn't having that at all. And all throughout, at least initially, Lyra forgot her promo. It was clear she was searching for words, and it just wasn't happening. So, for me, her promo was a miss. I do think part of it with the Detroit crowd, Lyra has not been presented as the most outstanding babyface of all time. And there are some cities, there are some towns that will acknowledge the veteran. Like Becky Lynch has been in the game forever. So they'll acknowledge Becky Lynch more so than Lyra. It all depends. But Lyra didn't have a good night. One bad night out of a fantastic summer. So, speaking of summer, and this is my overarching point, I think SummerSlam, if it feels like, oh man, SummerSlam is being put together kind of clumsy, it's kind of thrown together, it is. Let's be real. A year ago, I was looking back at the pay-per-view schedule from a year ago. So last year, WrestleMania was in early April. Then Backlash was in early May. I think Saturday, May 1st, 2024. Backlash. Then the King of the Ring pay-per-view, PLE, was Memorial Day weekend. Then Money in the Bank was the first weekend of July. And then SummerSlam here in Cleveland, first weekend of August. No Saturday night's main event. Everything was balanced. This year, we have had, since WrestleMania, which occurred in mid-April, we've had two Saturday night main events. The July PLE was a week later than before, Evolution. And because of Saturday night's main event going up against All In with AEW, you have that as well. So it's we've been building for all these feuds, for all these shows, and then, we just got removed from All In, removed from Saturday night's main event, removed from Evolution. 2 weeks' time, there's another pay-per-view. And it's SummerSlam. It's SummerSlam. So there is fatigue. Probably if you're covering this from a day-to-day basis like we do. Because I think the card is well put together. There's not a match on either night that you say man, this doesn't belong. But the top feuds, even Roman, Jey, and Bron and Bronson, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, even that feud is just man, if they were able to get another week or two, you have a story. Same with both world title feuds, so I don't know. It has to be some major angles coming out of SummerSlam to justify all this. Oh, one little quick note. I believe this weekend will be Karrion Kross's last WWE match. Back up Hangman on Twitter. I follow him. He does a great job with follows and stuff. He made a great point. And it's true. We cover Exodus Pro. Sometimes, if you're probably not going to renew a wrestler, yes, be more transparent about it. behind the scenes. But if you know a renewal is probably not going to happen, finding a way to use somebody to put over your own talent is not a bad idea. Braun Strowman earlier in the year, on his way out, had to put over Jacob Fatu on his way out the door. And he did. In this case, it seems to me that the goal of Karrion Kross, the character, is to put over Sami Zayn. So, as a character. But embracing the evil tendencies. But don't be upset. I mean, you can't be upset if that happens and then Karrion Kross is either let go, contract's not renewed. So, but I do expect Sami and Karrion Kross to have a pretty good match at SummerSlam. I've been impressed with that story throughout. All right. That'll do it. Things I like, things I didn't like. The Raw Reacts get brought to you by W Energy. W.GG. Get wonderful drinks, wonderful flavors. And if you type in the promo code SHWP10, that's SHWP10, Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, 10% off. Got you all covered. All right, that'll do it for Monday Night Raw. Let's do this again tomorrow. NXT, the fallout from the Houston show. Let's see what happens there with NXT. Santino's wrestling tomorrow. We'll put some butts in some seats. So, Santino and Ethan Page. I think that'll be the matchup tomorrow. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast out.